So without further ado, how about a warm round of applause for Dr.
Thank you.
I do really brief intros.
Thank you so much, Michelle. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you, everyone. And this is as exciting to me as a surprise. I never thought 20 years ago I'd be talking about water. You know, you think, oh, we're going to watch water boil. I watch water boil. I actually watch water freeze and thaw because they produce different crystal imaging. So we're going to go ahead and talk about water first, and then we're going to go into frequencies, and then I'm going to talk about how we combine it for structuring our body for a sound body of sound mind and sound wellness. So we're going to explore frequencies, how they shape the molecular structure, how they can influence the biological systems, because our biological systems are shaped by our cells, which is water. So we are water, we're shaping ourselves. So water is the foundation of life. We know that it is 60%, around 60, some say 70 of the human body. It plays a crucial role in regulating temperature, transporting nutrients, removing waste products. We know that. We know we're supposed to drink when we're hot. We're supposed to drink when we have something stuck in our throat. We're supposed to drink to eliminate. We know this stuff, but what about water do we not know that makes it so magical? So the cellular essence of life. So even though we are 60% total body weight is water, every single cell is about 90% water. So that means you are basically 90% water, okay? And the unique properties enables water to play a vital role in processes. Water, again, we know this. We know that water is necessary. You need water for 3 days, otherwise you are not able to survive, right? Water's extraordinary presence underscores its critical role. I mean, we're mostly water. We know that it is a huge part of our life. So we're gonna go briefly over my role models, and whether you've heard of them or not, we're gonna go into what they have produced. You're probably gonna be more familiar with the results and not their face. So this is Dr. Masaru Emoto. He has demonstrated the ability to form beautiful crystals when exposing positive emotions and music and photos. They actually did that too, so we're gonna go into that. So which was revealed that water is sensitive. It's sensitive to vibrations. Dr. Gerald Pollack, second person, he discovered the fourth phase of water. And you're gonna find the bulk of my talk is about the fourth phase of water, which is what we're made of, because we're not liquid, we're not solid, we're not gas. Sometimes, maybe, after. But we are made of the fourth phase of water. So we're gonna show how water structures itself, we know it stores memory. We saw that in Ice Age, right? It's being told in Disney shows, but how does it actually do it? How does it store information? And Veda Austin, she has recently published a book. It's called Crystallography. And she creates photographic evidence of water's responsive intelligence. You can do this yourself. You can have water form into beautiful photos by following her process. And it's getting a freezer and then watching it at a specific time. So without further ado, we're gonna go right into Dr. Emoto. So Dr. Emoto, this is a water crystal. It's a snowflake. And they say there's no two snowflakes alike, which makes us really think, what are snowflakes? There's no two snowflakes alike. Developed a way to photograph the water crystals under frozen conditions. So they were able to reveal how the different stimulus, which is music, bad words, good words, and photographs could create these patterns. Now, I didn't put it in here, but they actually took the photograph as it was thawing. So you freeze it -5 degrees, and then about 5 to 10 seconds where it forms into a crystal in the process of thawing. And emotional resonance, he was able to prove that positive emotions were able to form distinct symmetrical structures. Symmetrical, so they have symmetry. When exposed to positive words, classical music, loving intentions. And then it did the negative stimulus, which produced fragmented asymmetrical patterns. So they were just blobs of water. Consciousness and water. So he was, from his research, he proposed that water can act as a medium for storing and transmitting human consciousness. Before I talk about that, I actually wanted to talk about the word consciousness because it's such a big word. Like, what is consciousness? So con is actually, even though it sounds like it's contradicting, con is more for community, communal. And SCIOUS, S-C-I-O-U-S, is part of science. So this is communal science. And science, the root word of that is the act of knowing. So we're all scientists. So this is collective knowledge, the collective act of knowledge. The Akashic Records is another way to view that. So he was able to, he was proposing that water can be the medium for transmitting consciousness, and it's by understanding the water's properties. So these are examples taken straight from his website, because I was not able to, I'm actually not recreating their studies. So what I'm doing, which I'll be showing at the very end, is I'm taking all of these works, these are doctors and actual scientists that did these, scientific processes and have these conclusions, but they're kind of buried. I wasn't taught any of this. I had to, find out myself. So as you can see, this is just natural water. This is not, they didn't make any changes. So different water has different structures based on the energy and the environment. Next, we have different words. The most famous one would probably be the love and gratitude, because on the front of his book, it shows the love and gratitude crystal. But you can see here, hope, courtesy, so it's all symmetrical. This one says, I don't know if you can see this, this one says, I can do it, okay? But this one says, I can't do it. I cannot do it. Look at that, broken. This one has love of husband and wife. You can even see the double. Reverence, it's okay. So soothing words, mantras, and the word friend. These are the different music. Music changes your very essence. One of the things I also did not add in here is, another thing I do is I do something called a voice print, where you speak into a microphone. We record 3 different sessions, and we're able to capture what keynote is missing from your voice, because you're emitting that frequency, right? Because your health is expressed through your body, your skin, your hair, your nails, your face, your teeth, even your tongue. Tongue sores, you could tell if it's in the kidney or in the spleen. So everything is an expression, so especially your voice. So what we found is missing notes correlate to very specific parts of the body. Like, let's say you're missing the A note. It would be thyroid, esophagus, maybe have some hand and arm problems. So there's a list of symptoms and ailments related to missing keys. And on the other side of that, because we already know, we got root cause, we don't want to know the problem. We want to know what's the solution. And this is literally a solution. Classical music, just getting goosebumps. So when I took the class, because we buy the software, you take a 2-hour class and they explain, all the different notes and stuff. For every missing note, there's 3 pieces of classical music that can fix the note. And all you have to do is listen and hum. Humming. This is the #1 frequency device, is your voice. So when you're listening to frequencies or music, you almost kind of start to sway to music. And why do you do that? Why do you start tapping your foot? I mean, I don't usually think of that. Or, you just kind of start mimicking, because our cells are swaying to the environment. And that's what this is. The cells have swayed into their perfect snowflake structure. So again, now this one is photographs. So the water was exposed to a photo of an Egyptian pyramid, and that's the result of that photo. What this shows is water is sentient. Water has eyeballs, and it has skin to reflect the eyeballs that it's seeing. And again, we are all made of these little eyeballs. Now this one's my favorite, power of prayer. Okay, as you can see, you've got, so this one is the water of Fujiwara Dam. Before and after a Buddhist monk offered a prayer. So holy water is water with your Holy Spirit. Your Holy Spirit is your breath, and we all have that. So your breath plus water, positive intentions, changes it. You can literally do this now. You don't even technically need classical music. Okay, when I teach people about this stuff, yes, classical music, it's easier, you can follow along, you can listen to the frequencies, it feels good, but if you just sing a little bit to the classical music and really change what you're hearing and what you're speaking, you can retune your body, harmonize it.
Is he looking for me?
So here, tap water before and after, a peace memorial, before and after prayer. And in Catholic Church, you take your water, what do? They put it up, and then what happens? It becomes wine. So there's a transformation, there's a spiritual connection to water being changed using intention. They're actually also using sacred geometry, because by placing your arm up, you're now going like Vitruvian man pose. If you go like this, you're exposing your chest, your heart space. Your Holy Spirit is open. So then when you go like this, you're actually opening up your lotus flower. I learned that just very recently, so I can't really talk too much about it. But I noticed that the Vitruvian man, the Leonardo, the Da Vinci painting, right? It's like this, it's like the star painting. And that's that perfect formation. It's kind of like this. I'm kind of forming myself into a star. So this is an expanded version of the water experiment, okay? This is rice. They took rice, which has water, and they took one batch of rice, split it up into 3. Love, nothing, and hate is you think of loving thoughts, you think of hateful thoughts, and then you just ignore the center. Ignore the center one. And I can't recall exactly how long this one was. I don't know if it was 3 days or 3 weeks. Probably not 3 weeks. But you can see clearly it's moldy and disgusting. It's gross. The word gross is that chaos caused by this. This all came from the same batch of water. Love looks fresh. I mean, I would eat that, maybe. But the nothing is also starting to decay. Not as bad as this one, but it is. So that's really important. That's a really important thing to remember when, let's say, letting go, when you're letting go of people or letting go of experiences. If you just ignore it, it's gonna decay and basically disappear. But they were able to show that here, that ignoring, and I think, let's see, I think I added another one. There's actually a really great video. Kids in a classroom did this as a test. They had one plant here that they bullied. They were like, I don't know if they wrote on it, but they would go on there and they would just make fun of the plant. They went to the other plant and it just, you're beautiful, I love you. And it was within a week, I think, they were able to show this. And it's not that, I mean, I like to think that the plant's happy and the plant's sad, but it's the water that's actually sad. The water here has lost integrity and structure because of, it was the negative emotions. So we are made of water. Again, we are that water-based species. So just like it works for plants and rice, I actually did it with a lemon. There's also a lemon experiment. So you take one lemon, cut it in half, put love and hate on another. I actually exposed it to 2 groups online and didn't tell them. And then it was only for an hour. And then I had a coworker who was not aware of the lemon experiment try both pieces. The one with the hate, he immediately said, ooh, like you can tell. And then I told him afterwards. So human experimenting. So positive words, if symmetrical molecular structure, enhanced cellular coherence, they can talk to one another. Improved hydration patterns. We're able to actually hydrate. We're not just drinking 8 glasses and peeing 8 cups. You're not actually hydrating. You're just passing it. So words of love, gratitude, and compassion creates this. We are able to do this with this voice of ours. And adversely, we got the negative words, disrupts cellular communication. Oh, it makes the plant go limp, and it's fragmented. And it's words of anger, fear, criticism. Basically, don't watch the news. Don't doom scroll. I find myself, you could go 10 days on positivity, you spend 10 minutes doom scrolling, and you come across things that are not energies that came from you. So that's what really important. This doesn't necessarily just come from your negative thoughts and words. This is your environment. What are you watching? What are you hearing? Even if it's not directed at you, your mind is taking note of everything that it's sensing. And so we're not just made of water, we are water. So every cell responds to our internal dialogue and reflects it. So that was Dr. Emoto. Next up is Dr. Gerald Pollack. And I do have questions in between each section. So am I going too fast? No. Okay, perfect. So Dr. Gerald Pollack is, I think, probably the #1 researcher as of right now. I believe that he can create electricity from water. He can convert dirty water into clean water. And I think he can also take seawater and make it potable. And I'm very excited I'm going to be meeting him. So the 4th phase of water, he found this. Okay, the 4th phase of water is, again, it's not solid, it's not liquid, it's not gas. It's called an exclusion zone, also referred as EZ water. You may have heard of H3O2, and that's the actual formation, the molecular structure. And so we're H2O. H3O2 is the term for the 4th phase of water. So we're going to go over the properties of easy water. Who's heard of structured water? Yeah, okay. So the 4th phase of water, it doesn't sound as complicated. I mean, it's really simple. It's the state in between freezing and the state in between melting. That's the 4th state. And what they found was that there is a unique phase, they called it the exclusion zone. Literally, it excludes, and I'll show you that next. What they were also able to show that it would increase viscosity. It was more pliable. It created a negative electrical charge. It produced a charge. And it also represented complex energetic charge states. So for cellular hydration. So that way, when you drink water, you drink H2O, your H3O2, it can't just become H3O2, it has to convert. If you drink H3O2, it forms, it's part of the lattice. It's puzzle pieces coming together. So this is just an overview. Again, easy water explained. There's a lot of great videos, very easy to understand. Dr. Pollack. So again, the presence of this 4th phase occurs at the interface. Properties of easy water. It's highly ordered. It's hexagonal. It looks like a honeycomb structure. Its arrangement has increased hydrogen bonding, so it's more structured. It's crystalline. It's plasma. And we're crystalline. We're plasma. Electrokinetic water dynamics. It produces a negative electrical charge. And that's super important because electricity can be free. So one of the things I study that I'm really excited about to add to this is back in the Victorian era, which they now labeled as quackery, is electrical medical devices. So we all, like, I got my Wonder Woman here. I have copper in my hair. I got brass. I got gold. I actually have silver. The different crystals do things. The different metals do things. Well, a couple hundred years ago, they knew this, and it's wearing copper on the right and zinc on the left because you're a battery. So you are a conductive battery. You're the electrolyte. They used to do baths. So I actually was able to get, it's called a galvanic battery, a Boyd battery. It's about this big. And when you're sweating, like now, you stick it on your body and it's charging you up. It has 4 different metals. I had to find one on eBay. $350. It's hard to find, but they sold this for $1 back in 200 years ago. So now I've looked in, again, it's quackery. It's labeled as quackery. It's electrical devices. Did you know that corsets had magnets and electricity coursing through them? Yeah, I had no idea. And then I bought a brush. It was called Dr. Scott's electric brush. When you brush, it cures neuralgia, which I'm not sure what that is, but it cures hair follicles, headaches. There's a giant magnet in it, and it's made of ebony and boar bristles. And I found one and I brushed, and they also have a flesh brush. But my point is, all of this, these are electrical devices to charge our body, because electricity is life, and there's no electrical plug. We don't plug it in. It's the materials and the movement. So that was just a little side note of why this is so very exciting. Because what if we don't need food? What if we don't get hungry? I mean, my organs don't need water. It needs the minerals and the nutrients that's in the water. The water is clearing, and it helps clear, but it's not actually hydrating me. I need copper, iron, you know, magnesium, all that other stuff. So advanced physical characteristics, again, high viscosity, enhanced thermal stability, increased capacity for light absorption. Again, super important. Everyone, who uses red light? Red light therapy, green light therapy. I've just started implementing that with my frequencies. We have kits. I have a hair wellness kit with red light, a teeth kit with green light. And light is what enhances all of this. So, this is an example of that easy water. This here is what's called a hydrophilic surface. It's a water-loving surface, which our skin, our cells, are hydrophilic surfaces. So what you can see, they call regular water bulk water. So you have bulk water, and then you have easy water, which is a space that's between the hydrophilic surface and the bulk water. Okay, so that is the easy water we're talking about. There's always that little tiny space in between the whatever the container is and the water. So now we look at what we were just talking about earlier. So you've got this negative charge by the surface, and which splits up the positive. Now you've got a potential for electricity. And we were always told not to put our toaster in the bathtub, right? Correct, because that would be unsafe if it's plugged in. But what would happen if you put the other side of the plug into water that has an electrical charge? We don't do it because we're scared, because we think we're going to get zapped. Programming. So that's why we don't do it. I mean, don't try this at home, kids, but I've got some experiments. And all of this, like, I don't know why we're not running everything off of water. So again, Dr. Pollack, he's got some amazing research. So this is just showing how you're able to create that energy transfer. They used to take baths. I think it was called voltaic bath, or maybe it's voltaic cell battery, where you have copper and copper and zinc in the bath, and it recharges you. Their spectacles had copper and zinc, and then you got the wire frame. Almost everything was really for wellness back then. It was kind of crazy. I mean, it's exciting, just to be able to see all this stuff. So advanced physical characteristics of this water, again, heat capacity, it's very different. We are this plasma. We're able to regulate temperature. I mean, we're always, kind of 98.6. Whether you go, heat or cold, it's always regulating. It's got remarkable surface tension, and that's when you see, you've got the little bit of the surface tension on the water, or when you have the little birds or lizards running across the water because of surface tension. And then density anomalies is because of this easy water. That's how you're able to have ecosystems, because some of them are here, some of them are here. It literally helps divide it up. So, and this is just another view of what that easy water looks like. So you've got the material, the easy water forms, the molecules form into a lattice. It's like a net. It forms into this honeycomb lattice, and it gets bigger with light. I thought that was the next one. So again, they also found this with spheres. When you have spheres, what it does is it aligns it, and it separates the negative charge from the positive. So that's how they explain the formation of clouds. Like, clouds form because of the positive and negative charge. If you put a droplet of water on top of a cup of water, it doesn't, form right away. You also can charge water. This is a drop of water and a drop of water here that they're charged. And you see how it says easy stiff? That's water. That's a water bridge. And I think they got it to extend 2 feet. And I have yet to try that. That is very cool, because light travels through water. So you could put green light here, it would go through there. So it just, again, very cool stuff. And this is showing, like, this is where we should really be taking it, is getting the electrical charge from the water. Exclusion zone expand. So this was an accident. They were walking around and they flashed a light and they saw the exclusion zone grew. Major finding, because what that means is we can now enhance our easy water, which is that lattice work that makes everything structured. So we can get energy from sunlight and water. It creates this split, and this is us. This is us right here. So the other thing they found is that when you have that hydrophilic material, this easy water never has particles. You ever freeze dirty water? Your ice will always separate. I never knew that. I never thought about it. It separates the particles. So if you can take a glass of dirty water, I know, right? You gotta try this at home. You take a glass of dirty water, you freeze it. You'll see a little bit is excluded. Now you take that water and you use red light or sunlight, and then you freeze it. You actually are gonna push the dirt further. That's why I think he's gonna be able to one day, turn salt water, ocean water to drink, because salt water is just contaminated water with metals and minerals. And our cells have the same thing. So that means we have easy water, that same thing. We have the negative charge in here. And when we're exposed to light, we are able to structure. That's why sunlight is so good for us. It's actually a thing. It's not just it feels good. It's actually building easy water, structuring your cells. Harness the power of skin absorbing light. It goes through this process. It revitalizes your cells. It does all of what we already said just by being in the light. That's what your skin is. It's for receiving the light and for eliminating toxins. So it has been found that there is a huge effect on the behavior of easy water being around light. So this is just a summary. I kind of just went over, all the benefits of what easy water is and how you can enhance it with light. So, summarize, enhanced cellular absorption. We've got improved nutrient transport for your food, your drink. I drink 1 glass a day, sometimes 1.5 of structured water. Now, I also eat a lot of fruits. First thing I eat, grapes, that's water, pure water. Watermelon, that's pure water. I mean, you can live off of structured water, okay? So I drink about a cup of water, but I'm actually, I don't have to go to the bathroom 9-10 times. You're actually absorbing this liquid. And you'll be able to tell because your skin, your hair, all that stuff. So increase hydration efficiency and cellular energy support. You have energy. I mean, what happens when we don't have energy? We get tired, we get hungry, and we just start kind of doing this. But if we had enhanced energy, again, maybe we don't need to eat. Maybe, who has heard of breatharianism? Breatharianism, is this what they do? They eat the sun. They eat the light. Their body converts the sun into energy, and they're just breathing. I'm guessing, I haven't gotten there, but I'm guessing that's that process. So this is a few examples of Veda Austin. She just came out with a book, amazing book. She's on Facebook. She also teaches this process. She has Zoom workshops. And this is just an example, water retaining memory, like actually having the pictures of that in the ice, okay? And she calls it crystallography. Again, it's very simple. The difference with her freezing method and Dr. Emoto, he was taking it as they were thawing, and he was using a dark light microscope to see from behind, where this is on a petri dish. You can do this. She actually has people sending her samples of what they do and showing like just amazing, amazing formations. Look at that. They wrote the number 4, and then that's the ice. Remember how they said water has memory? Like literally, it has memory. Literally, it has memory. This one is one of the most profound. She actually had sent this in to her. Look at that. So, and that's just the actual formation. Imagine the actual cells in that. So again, and here, body parts. A picture of a thumb, a hand, iris. This is water. This is ice crystals in a petri dish. And you can do this with drawings. Actually, you could, it's really neat. You could do it, try it with all sorts of things, with drawings, with words. I actually have started to see structures in ice. So you can kind of build a little ice pyramid with ice. All right, so that was the part about water. So what I wanted to get across is that water has memory, and water can be programmed, and it holds it, okay? So now we're just gonna go right into frequencies, and a lot of people have heard about frequencies, so I'm just gonna skim over it. If you have any questions, just let me know at the end. So frequencies are the fundamental vibration that link every aspect of existence. That means I have a frequency, every cell of myself has a frequency, this has a frequency, this is vibrating. It doesn't look like it's moving, but it's vibrating. The vibration of this exists and is connected to me because I'm physically touching it. We're all in the same vibrational bowl, or we're all in the same space. So we are all subatomically connected, okay? Vibrational information, every system, living or inert, communicates through subtle energy waves. So we speak, but we can also have subtle energy waves such as telepathy, such as just the feeling of, someone looking at me. Is someone there? And then you've got holistic resonance. These are the things we're going to go over. Understand how frequencies are interconnected and how everything is harmonious, how it can be harmonious. And then we're going to tie it into water, and then it's just going to make more sense. So quantum network, this is our matrix. Particles communicate across vast distances, challenging traditional space and time notions. This is what we call the quantum reality, or the ether. Particles communicating, this is telepathy. This is the synchronicity. I thought of something, or I thought of someone, and then she called. Why? Because we're somewhat connected. No coincidences. Then you got quantum entanglement, which is states remain correlated, regardless of physical separation. Now, all of us at one point were one, right? We were all part of one. Now we're just experiencing different things. So we are separated, but we are still connected. And quantum entanglement is even stronger, like when you are closer to each other. They say you have to cut the cords. But why do you have to cut the cords? The cord, which is C-H-O-R-D, it's not a chord like a string. It's a musical chord. It's a vibrational frequency that you're entangled to a person. So when you cut the cord, you've got to slice that note, take care of that frequency. Interconnected universe. So everything is connected. This all basically says everything is connected. This last part says there's communication between all of these connections. So not only are we connected, we can communicate through them. Vibrational imprint. So this one here, this is where people are listening to vibrations. And now we have stickers. We have a sticker that you can put a vibration on and put on you like a Band-Aid, but it's a frequency. So we're able to take an imprint of an essential oil, an imprint of your vital organs, an imprint of really anything. They're doing plants now. So this is a frequency that carries the intricate pattern of whatever that is. So you've got an intricate pattern of a leaf, of an eyeball, of a hair, of a body. Resonance encoding means that you are able to imprint specific information onto water. So again, we were talking about water before. Now we're talking about the frequency that imprints and changes that water. And holistic information just says that every vibration contains an informational blueprint that can be transferred and also can be transformed. Transferred and transformed. So harmonious fusion is that everything is connected. It resonates within this one network, and everything's connected through frequency. I don't talk about like the matrix and how, you got parallel realities and how those are connected, because you got your past lives, current lives, all that stuff. But let's just look at this in like the present, this life. Everything is connected to you in this life. Unified field, it transcends physical boundaries. That's when you can think of something and it happens. or the telepathy tapes. They've been able to prove that autistic children, all of them have, not just children, but I think autistic people are telepathic, highly telepathic, tested with, especially with their parents. Harmonic coherence, individual elements contribute to larger harmonious symphony. So every single one of your cells must be coherent in your kidney for your kidney to work. And then your kidney and your adrenals must be coherent for them to produce the urine for it to go in your bladder. So all of it's connected. And that's the coherence. And you're an orchestra. You're a sound system, and you've got your organs, your instruments. So what we've learned is that water stores and transmits vibrations. Frequencies connect us all. Molecular structures, which is our cells, they respond to imprints. Cellular communication happens no matter what, no matter where. There's no blocks. So water is dynamic. We can encode it, we can use it to transmit. That whole water has memory. This is kind of that explanation. I hope I did a good job explaining that. So just like we went over the pioneers of water research, I want to just go over the pioneers of frequency research. And there's more people, but these are my top three. Dr. Royal Raymond Rife, the Rife Frequencies, developed over 4,000 individual, he made the best 5 microscopes in the entire world that zoomed in to 60x or more, and spent weeks to document every single frequency. Again, 4,000 plus. That's actually available online. So you can take a toner, a frequency generator, and generate those frequencies. And what he started out with was parasites. What frequencies could zap parasites? They would watch the parasite disintegrate. It doesn't die, and it doesn't have to be processed like you would think. You have to kill a parasite and you have to poop it out. No, it disintegrates. It disappears. It's gone. The frequency just doesn't allow for it to be there. So that's what he has focused his work on. Ernst Chladni, not a lot of people know him, but people have seen his work. It's all of the Chladni images. You see online, people do the bubble cymatics where you see all the fancy patterns. That's who started it. So Chladni had a steel plate. He's a musician. He had a steel plate. He threw sand on it, and he took his violin bow, and he started going, and it was whoa, this formed this pattern. This always formed this pattern. So every frequency, every different note had a different pattern. And then we're going to go to Sir Peter Guy Manners, who took all of this patterns and transferred it into a combination of frequencies and put it in a machine. So that's the three here. So Rife, he's the basis of this. Rife pioneered these high-powered microscopes to observe the microorganisms. He would disrupt it. There's really only two. It's disruption or you're resonating, so resonance. So you're either blasting it, like if you sing to a glass and you match the resonance of a wine glass, you can break it, right? You break the glass, you're disrupting it, you're breaking it. Or you are matching the resonant frequency and exciting it. So in that example, you got a tuning fork here with A and tuning fork here with D. You hit this is not going to do anything. But if this is tuning fork A and this is tuning fork A, same frequency, you hit this starts playing. This starts sounding off. So you can either excite it with frequency or destroy it with frequency. And his was more about destruction, which is good. So Rife Frequencies, again, thousands. You can look this up, mostly about parasites, body parts, ailments, and emotions. There's a lot of Rife apps. This is accessible online. You're gonna wanna check, there's single tones, there's double tones, there's something called binaural beats. All of that, they work. Just, know which one, really understand which one you're listening to. Examples of his therapy was for cancer support. He had viral disruption for viruses, bacteria, and healing harmonics. So he started with blasting parasites. He had the video of blasting parasites and disrupting tumors, but then he also has videos of restoration and formation, like seeing them form. So this is just a quick example. You probably have already heard this. This is teeth and gum. This is an example of teeth and gum Rife frequency. has everyone listened to Rife Frequencies? No? Oh, well, this is not pleasant. It doesn't sound pleasant, but you were in your mother's womb, and what did it sound like in there? It probably sounded like mechanical and water and heartbeat. This is the sound of your teeth and gums forming. So every single part of your body has a sound, and when your teeth and gums hear this, it's doing that A and A. It's going, oh, I'm going to be active. I hear it. It's activating. It's not going to destroy your teeth, and because it's not a parasite. It's going to resonate. It's activating it. So that's just one example of, again, Rife frequencies. Some frequencies sound pleasant, some don't. This one is just another example. This one is called Spooky 2 Rife. Spooky 2 is a device that's used to produce Rife frequencies. I have a Spooky 2 Rife machine, and they work well. They also, there's a lot of products out there. This is not new technology. This was derived from the giant bells that we used to have. A giant bell in a cathedral surrounded in a very geometric community, right? And that's because everything was really very structured back then. So let's, just a quick example. Again, this is all on YouTube. So Chladni, this might be what you have seen. This is a Chladni, oh, where's my phone? Sorry. I actually have an app called the Chladni app. So every time I speak, I can see the formation of what my words are doing. And I also can, there's also a Chladni speaker. There's a Bluetooth speaker. You can put sand and hook it up and you can see. So his work, again, 18th century, he revealed through this steel plate and his violin, just like this, that it was creating different shapes, very distinct shapes. Well, what are we made of? We're made of sacred geometry. We are made of sacred geometry, the Platonic solids. So we're the building blocks of life as cubes, and literally we are made of that. We're made of sound that forms structures and very specific structures, and then you combine all those different sounds and forms it into us. So just a couple examples. As it gets higher in frequency, you've got more complex looking structures or patterns. And there's thousands of these. Your voice has an imprint. Every sound, including inaudible ones. There's an app called Plant Wave. You have these little clips, you put it on a leaf, and it translates the vibrational frequency of the plant, and it sings. You can hear your plants, which is really weird because if you, okay, I didn't mean to share, but if you go into like near your plant with the intention of harming your plant, it screams. Okay? So I actually want to do a whole study. I've actually got a whole study on aloe vera plants. They scream with the thought. You don't even have to actually pull out a thing. The thoughts, they can understand us. Plants are sentient, water is sentient. Yeah, it's such a, that's a whole other subject. I shared this on TikTok. I got a Ouija board for my plants. And instead of letters and stuff, it's the plant nutrients. So now I can take my plant, put it in the Ouija board. Few minutes, right? Water has memory, plants talk. Plants talk, but we just don't know how to understand it. So you take that Ouija board, you put it in the freezer, guess what? That's what the plant needs. Isn't that amazing and crazy?
Wait, break that down.
Mark, it's literally like a checkbox. You can write a checkbox, a sushi menu item of all the nutrients, because it's not just NPK anymore. NPK is what we needed back then. Our soil is, nutrient deficient. So I can't just add the regular NPK minerals. So I got into the whole plant thing. And I'm like, well, I talk to my plants. They talk back. How? Ouija board, because now you can freeze the water. You guys, try it at home. Talk to your plants. It's really amazing. Really amazing stuff. And that video is, I don't share a lot of my research quite yet, but again, all of this you can do at home. So Chladni images, this is a super quick version. I bought the speaker. You can actually buy a Chladni speaker, and you can put salt and pepper and different weighted matters. So here is just sprinkling it and then hitting it, forming patterns. Very simple. Oh wait, are you able to hear that? Oh, but you're not able to see it. Oh, I thought, whoops, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. I was like, oh, look at the beautiful patterns. Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll just hit play just for a couple seconds just so they can see. Okay. So just steel plate, hitting it with very specific, it will always form the same shapes. And you can get apps now. You can get an app and talk into the app and see this.
What's the app called?
Well, the app is called CladMe, which is the last name. And you can also get a CladMe speaker. So one of the things I'm going to do is show the CladMe images of current music. Okay? Music. Okay, classical music you can see. And then you, like, I like System of a Down, but I don't listen to them anymore because I know it causes a lot of chaos in my body. So anyway, that's probably good enough. Get the point. It makes a little mess. I don't use it that often. All right. So that's the CladMe images. Now this guy is the last of the three, right? Sir Peter Guy Manners. The reason why he's so important in my work is because he took all of the information of the vibrations and took the imprint, right? So he goes, okay, here's a vibration of the kidney, the teeth, the blah, blah, blah. He took the imprint and made it into a sound, put it into a digital sound, a frequency machine. This is 50 years ago. 50 years ago, they developed, he worked with someone named Hans Jenny. Those are the two people. He's actually called the father of cymatics. He has a 4-part documentary on YouTube. You've seen it? Has anyone seen it? Anyone that, no? It is such a great video. You see foam dancing like people. So you know those, what do you call it? Those slime ball things. I bought a bunch of the little foam and I got a tube, okay, just a clear tube. Play the sound here and the foam balls vibrate. They look like they're dancing. And he was able to show that through all sorts of different mediums. So different liquids, just all sorts of stuff. They had fire. I'm actually doing one with bubbles right now. So you can, when you do bubble cymatics, it's 3-dimensional. So I take a bubble, I blow a bubble, and then blow another bubble. Now you got 5 bubbles, and then you play sound, and now you can kind of watch it. I'm trying to figure out how to freeze the bubble. I haven't gotten there yet. I bought one of those ice cream, roll ice cream things, but it's not quite working. So Hans Jenny, again, Hans Jenny and the other guy, Father Cymatics, they came up with 700 unique commutation. A commutation is not a Rife frequency, it's a combination of 5. And this is a vibrational map saying this sound is going to create this structure. Let's say the spleen is tetrahedron, or a tetrahedron. And the spleen has to work with the thyroid and the heart. And I can't quite remember if it does, but so they all are interconnected. Every single part of our body has to work with 3 or more other parts of our body for it to be formed back to its perfect shape. They figured this out 50 years ago. 50 years ago, they built this Cyma 1000. It was actually manufactured in an FDA manufacturing facility. This is not the only machine it's in. There's, I think it's called Ultra MK. Ultra MK. It was MK something, okay? But there were a couple frequency devices. And the one that I happen to have, which is this one, they made it 50 years ago. It was for sale for about $10,500 to a certain group of people. And then 10 years later, they stopped producing it. Well, guess how many I have? I was able to get my hands on 2. So I actually was gifted one from a healer that needed healing. So she gave it to me in exchange for me to heal her with it. And after I did, so I had a wellness center for 7 years in the Bay Area. I did 3 years of practice. I practiced on people and animals. I never charged. I never asked for their names. I don't want to see them again. I want them to come in, feel the vibrations, maybe come back another time, but then I don't want them to come back. That's not the point. They're not paying patients. The healing is not forever, okay? We're not supposed to be healing forever. We're supposed to change, get it fixed, and then off you go. So 3 years I did that, and we were able to do a lot of stuff. Tumors, that was during the shots, so a lot of people were like vaccine stuff that we had to help with, a lot of crazy rashes, just all sorts of stuff. And they came into my center. I also saw a lot of dogs. So this was first built for horses. Horses, dogs, bears, and humans, we all vibrate similarly. So I have 10 dogs. I have 8 poodles and 2 large rescues. Yeah, I'm actually going to be opening a senior center for dogs, because I've been able to take 15-year-old dogs that were to be put down and give them another 2-3 years of life. That, right? Thank you. In fact, I'm just going to point someone out. Annie, who I met on TikTok 2 years ago, we're starting a mobile van just for animals. So we already know it's basically a med bed for animals. It's an igloo. You take the igloo, you know, the igloo thing that they already have. You put the gel pad underneath with the frequencies. You get the red light on top. Put the animal inside. I'm actually going to crawl in there. I mean that's, and then I've seen it happen. Tumors. It took about 3 months for someone to have an 8 centimeter tumor in her right breast. I saw her 3 times a week for about 45 minutes. And it was in person, so she did do it. But the difference with this and your speaker is that this is stronger. So surround sound will work. You don't need fancy stuff, okay? But it does help, okay? Light helps, magnets help. If you had, you know, those Lakovsky coils, Tesla coils, that's gonna help too. But sound is the basic of everything, so sound works. So back to, well, this was just a quick example. We're almost done, you guys. So this is a quick example of root canal using the sound that they created. So it's similar to Rife, but all of their sounds have 5 frequencies. So they took the center, and then they took the higher 2 and the lower 2. So it's a combination of the 5. And oh, whoops. Let's see. I can't see this top part. Is it on the other side? Everyone's root canal. By the way, root canal is not just a treatment at the dentist. That's a part of your tooth. Major thing that I help with are teeth, okay? Teeth are connected to every part of your body. I have teeth wellness kits. I actually have 1,000 frequency toothbrushes being produced right now, where the teeth frequencies go through the bristle and it uses bone conduction. So you don't hear it. It's literally vibrating through your mouth. So I have what do you call it? Like a sample that I was working with to prototype, and I've been brushing my teeth, just putting it on the outside. So I'm stimulating my face, my skin's being stimulated, my teeth is hearing the sound, and it's vibrating. It's crazy. I don't think I need toothpaste, except for to, remove, things stuck. Yeah, so people overbrush. You're gonna get rid of your enamel, especially the activated charcoal toothpaste. That's another thing. It's good for detoxing, but it's not good for your teeth. It's not good for your enamel. So this is the last part, which combines all of the frequencies and the water, okay? Epigenetics. Epigenetics is how we reshape ourselves, our life, using our thoughts. And Dr. Bruce, has anyone heard of Dr. Bruce? Yeah. I love him so much. He has, he makes these amazing cartoon videos so easy to understand. That's the thing with this whole spirituality thing and frequencies and all that. It's not complicated. We don't have to use big words. You can use your headphones and speakers. So Dr. Bruce explains that the biology, the perception, it's our perception, the biology of belief can sway your matter. So it's not mind over matter. It's mind, period. There's nothing else. So he has explained how genetics work, that passed down diseases are not actually passed down. The role of conscious mind in shaping cellular behavior, and the importance of positive thoughts. Again, positive thoughts. Who watches scary movies?
Not me. No way.
I used to, right? The Friday the 13th, we all grew up with that. And then what about the song? Okay, who liked Alanis Morissette? Okay, we all sang like Jagged Little Pill and all that, you know, like we're depressed and angry. What are we doing to our body? What are we doing? Has anyone drank that water that says like
Death water?
Death water. I've got some water experiments where I look, the death water barely doesn't even freeze. It doesn't even react. It's, yeah. So Dr. Joe Dispenza, another person to just really talk about mind over matter, neuroplasticity. Our brains are constantly changing. You're different now than when you first came in here. And not just your mind space is definitely different because you just acquired more information, but your brain is also different. Your skin is different. Your everything is different. So we have to make conscious choices to make sure that the difference that is happening is directed by us and not by programming. But my mom said this and they said that and my doctor says I have a terminal disease and all that stuff. It's got to come from here. So he has shown, I mean, he had a spinal injury and he was able to, you know, heal himself quickly. This can happen. And real quick, the reason why I got into this, I had a panic disorder. For 4 years, I would drive to the hospital at like in midnight and nothing was wrong with me. So after my first meditation, it was a 2-hour meditation. I never meditated. I didn't even know what. It was gone. I haven't had a panic attack in 15, 16 years now. And that night, not only did I heal my panic attack, I actually think I like healed all the other stuff. I don't get sick. I think I've stopped mostly of my aging. My hair won't stop growing. I haven't shampooed my hair in 5 years, actually. I use vinegar. It's vinegar and it doesn't smell that bad. So vinegar, plus I've got the copper. So I do, you know, it's about like lemon and lime for deodorant. You want to have pink lips, suck on a lemon. That's how they used to put lipstick on, lemon puckers. So there's a lot of natural way. Okay, and one of the worst things, ladies, toxic fingernails, polish, fake nails, #1. That is gonna give you bad skin. It's gonna mess with your blood and everything related to that. So I teach people, it's like, come on, this is toxic and this is directly into your bloodstream. So anyway, that's just, it all goes back to health, right? And Neville Goddard, he has influenced me. Every night I listen to him, and it's just about the power of imagination. What is your goal? You have to have a goal, because if you're not working towards your goal, you're working towards someone else's goal, or you're just not going to accomplish anything. You're just gonna flail in life, and it's okay to do that until you realize you don't have to. So write down so Neville Goddard, I talk to people about the law of assumption, law of expectation, the law of knowing. You're bringing that in. Everything you put out comes back in. So it's all bringing all that together, but in a water and frequency type of way. So Cymatones, here's my spiel.
All right.
So Cymatones, I took the device and made it a digital product. Before I got into the woo-woo side of my life, I was a programmer. I actually managed an IT department. I was a Windows developer for 12 years. So I managed the department for a manufacturing shop, and I knew all that stuff. But then I had my panic attacks. So after I healed my panic attacks, I was like, if I can heal that with nothing, I didn't do anything. I literally just thought myself into a better state and then got rid of it. I'm like, if I can do that, I must be, like, other people should be able to do it. And that's when I just got myself fired. I was late 100 times. And then I opened a crystal shop. I actually had a wellness center. We had a sensory deprivation tank. We built a Himalayan salt cave. We would do sound baths, you know, over the tank. It was just all this stuff that I liked. And I was very blessed to be able to get the Cymatones. So bringing back to here, so I took the device that I was gifted, that I was able to, and create a digital program with it, because I'm a programmer. So, and all of this, it's sound and vibrations. I don't need to prove all that. I'm not a doctor or a scientist, but all these doctors and scientists already proved it. So they've already proven that the water holds the frequency, how we can change it, how the frequencies work, and now I'm just combining it and making it easy for people to use and explaining it in a way that kind of makes sense. One of the important parts of this is You have 700 frequencies. It's like, what do I listen to? So a big part of this is knowing about the meridians, the chakras. So I spent a lot of time teaching people the pathways, and then you figure it out. You know, look at a picture. If your arm hurts here, and you got a little bit of headache, it's probably your thyroid, it's probably your adrenal. You have extra mucus, are you sweating? Are you, you know, clot? So it's really determining what your symptoms are, so you can listen to the sound. There's no negative side effects. You can't die from classical music. You might be bored, but so, and this is just going to go into all the benefits: hydration, optimized cellular function. And this is if you use frequencies to structure your water. You are the water. You are the exclusion zone water that we were talking about. You're the H3O2. So structured water facilitates clearer communication, optimized communication, cellular harmony, just good stuff. You are now formed in this structure versus chaos. Nutrient absorption, we already talked about that. So for digestion, if your stomach and your spleen are working together, you're actually receiving the frequencies instead of just, so reducing stress and anxiety. When we are in fight or flight, you're not digesting, you're not restoring. People think rest is just like sleep, rest. No, it's restoration. Restoration is restore in your memory bank. So you go about doing all these things in the day, you have to restore it in your memory bank, and you have to hit, that's a theta state thing at night, you know, getting your sleep and all that. But frequencies help with that. Frequencies help with sleep, and oh, there it is. See, he's sleeping. So enhanced relaxation. Has anyone here not listened to frequencies? Okay, so everyone's had a little bit of frequencies, and you all know that there's negative frequencies, right? There's negative frequencies. That sound that goes off when there's an Amber Alert, the sound that goes off with the emergency system, those are not good frequencies. But I don't like putting fear out there. You can negate it with what? Sing a song, listen to classical music, chant. But if you keep doing, like if you receive that from here and then you watch, like if I watch Survivor, which I love Survivor, but it puts you in that survival mode, you know, like it's putting you in that state. Faster recovery, you heal quicker. Boosting your immune function. Again, all this good stuff that happens from your structured water. It's like having a healthy plant. So your organs will actually work as intended. Enhanced cognitive performance, improved focus, memory. Your brain is better. Your brain is working. Your brain, I mean, it's not gray matter, that's cerebral spinal fluid. So you got cerebral spinal fluid going up and down your body 4 times a day. It flushes from butt to brain is 4 times. They've tracked it. When you breathe, it makes that flow, it enhances the flow. It's kind of like when you put magnets here, it straightens structures your blood. So every night, so once a day at night when you hit theta, that flush that goes all the way up to the top of your head goes and literally flushes your brain of toxins. So if you do not hit theta state, you are not fully clearing. And that's why people wake up tired. You go to sleep to rest and then you wake up tireder than when you slept. It just doesn't make sense. So supporting emotional well-being, of course, if you feel better, you're gonna be nicer, right? If you feel better, you're nicer, you make better decisions. How do you integrate? Well, drink structured water, which is structuring with frequency. Do you need a frequency device? No, you can talk to your water. I actually put my water up here because what that does is it puts me in this state of, you know, openness, the Vitruvian, you know, lotus position. Bless my water, I look up. What does that do? I'm focusing up at my crown chakra. I've expanded my throat chakra, which is the path of the Holy Spirit from your lungs. So that's pretty easy, right? You can just talk to your water. Abracadabra. It's actually better if you rhyme to your water. So I'm learning that rhyming, nursery rhymes, going up. Okay, remember Ariel, how did she become a mermaid? She was standing in water, she had the moon, she had the light, and then what did she do? I'm not gonna do it. It was going up, right? It's always increasing. Okay, and on a side note, there's a song by Rihanna that people think is manifesting money. It's called Money on My Mind. It goes, money on my mind, right? I don't know if you've heard that. But right before that, the tone goes like this. Oh, money on my mind. What does that do? It's starting the scale downhill. So that's programming. So it's literally saying, it's like, what do you mean, money on my mind? That's pretty stressful, right? So those are like, you really start paying attention to the scale, the tone. Frequency bath, you can get a speaker that plays right into the water, or you can just listen to, your frequencies in the bath. Now, if you can sit in a tub of gel, that would be better. So water sound travels 4 times faster in water, but 7 times faster through gel. And so like ultrasound gel or aloe vera, if you have enough aloe vera plants, take an aloe vera bath. Sound therapy, listen to frequencies regularly. When I give out my prescription, sound prescription, it's morning and night, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. Did you know that in like 2006, dentists were regrowing teeth? And after 12 weeks of sound frequencies, they were showing signs of dentine, which is the stuff that's in your enamel. They don't tell us that. I had to dig to find that because I was producing a wellness